Now we're going to fit the dust seal, which is the last part of the leg. Just put a bit of WD on there so it slides over there nice. Bit of lube, never hurts. And here's your clean fork boot. That just slides down over the fork and done.
At this point we've got the fork mostly assembled, anti-dive units on the front of it. We've got the axle clamp on the bottom just to so we don't lose it. The dust cap is back over the new fork seal, and we're about to put the spring in and some oil and the cap on top, so it'll be a sealed unit and ready for installation on the bike. Take it away, Mike.
I'll have to get something to measure the fork oil into.
We're going to measure the fork oil. Pretty accurate measurement. It has to be accurate. It has to be spot on. Every bike has a different level of fork oil. Some you measure from the top down with a ruler of some kind.
Capacity. Yeah.
Some it's capacity. In this case, yeah, capacity. So we're going to get something to measure the fork oil into. We'll be right back.
As you see,
springs.
The fork springs have a closer wind one end and a not so close wind, a wider wind at the other end.
A wider wind.
Wider wind. And they do have to go in a particular way. I'm pretty sure
it's the tight end at the bottom.
Tight end at the top.
Really?
Yeah. So let's just double check, shall we?
So yes, he double checked, and it is big end in the bum. I hate it when he's right.
So the large end
in the bottom.
In the bottom.
All right.
So that goes in there.
There we go.
And that goes in.
We'll tip in the oil.
There.
And somehow, miraculously, like a pint of beer, it disappears in seconds. Well, that was exciting.
Wasn't it though? So that's pretty close. Now this goes in. I don't know what they call this.
Another piece?
But it's what the spring adjuster. This is an adjuster which pushes down on the spring, which gives you some form of adjusting the harshness of the ride. So that goes on there and that pushes down on it.
I know what you're thinking. Bloody hell, I remember to take a close-up.
And this gives you a 3-position adjustment to putting tension on the fork spring. So this is on the softest setting, and if you push it right out, and that's on the hardest setting. So the harder the setting, the more of this is out to put more tension on the spring. When we're assembling it, we're going to put it on the softest setting because it's easier to put in. When it's on the bike, it's adjusting in there is a slot for a flat blade screwdriver to go into, so you can do it without having to pull the forks apart. Again, I think this was the first time they'd done that on a Suzuki, but it certainly gives you a lot more scope to adjust the suspension than what you used to be able to.
When you have to get someone to get down on their knees and grab a hold of your fork leg and hold it steady, Mike's advice is don't use an idiot. Ow, 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 ow. Now I will read a couple of quick emails that we've received. I think you're a wanker and your show is full of crap. Grandma. For the love of God, will you guys please wear some makeup? It's constructive. Now we've received an official email from the Suzuki GS650G Owners Group of Australia. They weren't too happy with my comments about the 650 Katana in our last episode. Dear Sir, after conducting a survey of our entire membership, both of us agree that we take offence at your disparaging remarks and seek an apology forthwith. Club President Reginald Shortcock. Well, fair enough, Reggie. I may have gone too far. I mean, who knew? There are people out there who actually do like riding shitboxes. My humble apologies. So this time round, the swing arm is in, the springs are on, the rear wheel is put together and chucked in, and the forks are finally assembled. In our next episode, after fitting the front discs and the forks, we'll get the front wheel and handlebars on the bike and move it onto the workbench. Then it's headlight, gauges, and if all goes to plan, on with the chain and sprocket.
I've been Mike Tucker.
And I've been Steve Wayland. See you next time.
And we'll talk some more. Well, your stuff's not funny.
Two Blokes and a Motorbike is brought to you by bikereview.com.au.